All right, listen, a sore subject for people in this part of the world. The Kansas City Chiefs fall yet again, second loss in a row to my Bills on Sunday.
Congratulations, man. I bet you guys were happy, huh?
Yeah, we were a little bittersweet.
You're back in the playoff race.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts. Us and every other team in the AFC except for one. You know, as there's only been one team mathematically eliminated. That's the Patriots, you know. But so the Bills hold on and win 2017. The Chiefs, they fall to 8-4. They're going to play at the Patriots this weekend. But so what were your initial, before we even get into the offsides, the Kadarius Toney, overall, what were your initial thoughts of the game outside of the officiating?
I thought it was a great game, and I figured it would be going in. I think I picked Kansas City to win slightly just because they were at home. But the way Buffalo played Philadelphia the week before, I knew they were starting to play good again. So they were going to be a tough one to beat. So I wasn't surprised that it was a great game, that either team could win. I was surprised again the way the officials asserted themselves. And let me preface it by saying the Chiefs organization has no room to complain. Right? Last year in the playoffs, they got a 15-yard penalty in the AFC Championship game that put them into field goal range to beat Cincinnati, which was a good call, but it was still controversial, along with several other calls. In the Super Bowl, they get a call in the final 2 minutes that wraps up the game for them, you know, that just set it in concrete, didn't give the Eagles the ball back where they could have won the game in the final seconds. So all of that falls in the Chiefs' favor. Well, now the last couple of weeks, things have started to go against the Chiefs, and Chiefs, you know, kingdom is not happy and probably should not be happy. That non-interference call 2 weeks ago cost the Chiefs the game. They would have won the game, right? And then this call, the offsides, offensive offsides, cost the Chiefs a touchdown. They scored a touchdown.
But was he offsides?
On that play. He was offsides, absolutely. And you know, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid's big problem, what they said after the game was, that's something they never call, right? And that is true. Usually in the whole history of the game, the official warns the player and the referee at least once before making that call. And they didn't in this case. But he was offsides, right? So where do you fall on that? I thought it was interesting what Patrick Mahomes said, too. He said, that was an iconic play that would have gone into the NFL annals of all time as one of the coolest, you know, the way Kelce lateraled it, and Chiefs score, touchdown, game-winning more than likely in the final seconds for a Hall of Famer like Kelce. That would have been an iconic play for decades, and now it just gets wiped out.
Oh, no, I still think we'll see that play for years and years. Pat McAfee talked about the day that Travis Kelce gets inducted in the Hall of Fame, they're going to show that play, right? And then at the very end say, but it didn't count.
Yeah, it never counted.
You know, but you'll still hear about that. You'll still see that. I mean, such a cool play just because you don't see stuff like that happen in real time, the improv.
It looked like they drew it up. It was such a perfect
It did look
play.
like it, the way Toney was sitting there on the spot.
Yeah.
But you know what else you didn't mention? You know, last week that pass interference call, the no call, I mean, that was blatant, right?
Yeah.
But what no one talks about is the Mahomes who was fighting for extra yardage and got hit right at the sideline while he was still in bounds. And they threw a flag.
That was a bad call.
For a 15-yard personal foul, which extended the drive, moved them 15 yards closer, and ultimately led to their, they ended up losing the game. But that was not a call that Chiefs fans were upset about or talking about, right?
You know what I think? I think the NFL controls the referees to make these games closer.
Oh, yeah.
To make them more interesting for TV ratings and maybe even for who wins.
I was going to call you crazy. And you know when people start talking about the NFL being scripted?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you'll notice sometimes when an official makes a call, something we never used to see, another official running in and overruling. And we saw it in the game last night where the official late in the game of the Giants and Packers game had marked that he was out. No, I think it might have been the other game. But marked him out, which he shouldn't have been marked out. Well, the official comes running down the sideline and says, he just overrules the official in real time.
Up a flag on a touchdown, too. And, and they said, that didn't happen. Don't worry, a touchdown.
I mean, how do you have 74 teams in the AFC that are 7-6?
Right. Yeah, and so I think the NFL does have power over the referees to keep these games closer for sure, and maybe even who wins the game. You know, and again, for the Chiefs, that's broken in their favor the last few years. They've been getting the calls. Last couple games, not so much.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see. I just, like you said, I'm really tired at this point in time, and it seems like every week during either prime time or two of the potential playoff teams are squaring off, after the game is final, we're always talking about a penalty or an official, and it didn't used to be the case. You're going to have bad calls. It happens. They're humans. But at this point, it's getting a little ridiculous, especially when you have instant replay, and we're supposed to have all of this technology to hold the officials accountable. Yet this is by far the worst officiated season the NFL's ever had, and it's gotten drastically worse year after year the last 5 or 6 years, and this year takes the cake. I mean, it is unbelievable, but as a football fan, I want to see the players decide the outcome of the game. I don't want to see the zebras, the flags thrown all the time. So kind of tired of seeing that, but it'll be interesting to see who ends up going to the playoffs because a lot of teams still alive.